I don't think I've ever given my stance on this before, but it's an important foreign policy issue, and with some recent news, now is as good a time as ever. Israel recently passed a law legalizing execution as a punishment for violent crime, but only if you're Palestinian. Yes, I'm serious, they've just legalized a 100% racialized death penalty. And now would be a good time to state also that the conviction rate for Palestinians in Israel is about 99%. Actually, it's over 99%. Of course, a conviction rate that high indicates that people are almost certainly being over convicted and over prosecuted. It's just another example of the two-tier justice system and the effective apartheid system that exists for Palestinians in Israel. And this is, of course, also in the middle of a forceful, frequently violent effort by the Israeli state to settle and occupy, effectively colonize land belonging to Palestinian civilians. The Israeli government has also, of course, recently started indiscriminately bombing Lebanon. We're talking men, women, children alike, civilian housing and infrastructure. So let me make my stance as clear as possible because this is not a universally agreed upon thing, even in the primary that I'm running in. I will not, do not, and cannot ever support in any way the nation state of Israel. It is committing some of the worst atrocities of the modern day, waging a wholesale war against a civilian population under the guise of rooting out an insurgency. In their war, they've indiscriminately targeted civilians. They made no distinction between combatant and non-combatant, men, women, and children alike. By their own estimates, the Israeli Defense Force has determined that they've killed about 4 civilians to every combatant, which is a worse civilian casualty rate than any nation during World War II. They've employed mass starvation tactics on civilian populations and then oftentimes killed people who are trying to receive internationally provided food aid. They've also at this point destroyed almost every single permanent structure in Gaza, leaving a population of nearly 2 million people effectively homeless. All with the intent of removing the native population and settling the area. That, make no mistake, is a genocide. It's included in the textbook definition of genocide. Any political figure who cannot fully condemn, certainly one who accepts the influence of, in the forms of like AIPAC, JPAC, the state of Israel, is absolutely not fit to hold office and should not be let anywhere near any lever of power. It is utterly unacceptable for us or for our political leadership to support or even tolerate any country that is committing a genocide. I mean, when another country is committing atrocities of that scale, it's really not enough to just say, well, we won't give them any offensive armaments anymore, like we do all the time with Israel. That no armaments at all. We should cut ties entirely. We should not participate in trade with a genocidal country. We should be embargoing a genocidal country. Our representation needs to be calling for America and our whole ally network to be sanctioning them, not continuing to provide them monetary aid. And of course, because the well of conversation has been thoroughly poisoned by bad actors, I have to say that this is obviously has nothing to do with Jewish people. In fact, it's pretty vile the way that the Israeli state propaganda and media apparatus has done everything it can, both domestically and internationally, to conflate Jewish identity itself, both ethnically and religiously, with the existence of the current Israeli government, trying to purposely manipulate and poison the conversation in advance so that they can try to call you anti-Semitic or in some way prejudiced because you are condemning the actions of a government entity. It's just such a disgusting, cynical method of trying to provide a human shield against any sort of criticism against them. In fact, as a result of that, they've created an atmosphere where every time the state of Israel commits some sort of horrible atrocity, anti Semitism and anti Semitic crimes spike. By pushing this narrative, this conflation of national identity with a broader ethnic and religious identity, they are actively harming Jewish people the world over. This is 100% about a power and control hungry state regime that wants to remove and replace people that they see as other. And I swear, if anyone says taking this firm of a stance, taking this position on this issue, and being this critical of people who are too weak on this issue constitutes purity testing in politics, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. Drawing the line at genocide is in no way, shape, or form even approaching the bar of purity test politics. It is possibly the lowest bar for a candidate or politician one could possibly draw. I'm Max Diaz. I'm an airplane mechanic running for U.S. Congress to represent South Carolina District 1. If you think I bring attention to the right topics, and you like my stances on those topics, and you like my policy positions, then feel free to follow us on social media, check out our website, and support the campaign if you like what we have going on.